Pearson gets into the 95 of Fultz. Here comes the caution.
Flag is dropped here at Daytona, and away we go for the first time. Nicholas Morcel, Sean.
It looks like most get through unscathed. Look at that, there's Reed Gibson. A big move at the inside line of Doms, possibly a little bit of contact.
Now, as we've got three wide action going through turns 1 and 2.
And they're underway. Eric Hahn takes a nice jump. Wilson hasn't let him go very far.
Go out here for Circuit Spa Francorchamps. Alex Johnson's off to a brilliant start there.
Just how oddly shaped this one is. We saw in the background Eric Hahn go for a bit of a swing, and he's gone and he's over.
New stuff. Cody Graham's the one-on-one up into second place. Alex Johnson 6/10 lead at the moment.
They're dicey up front. There's Andrew Kessel, Justin Sang.
They are ready to go. The lights are out, and away we go for the very first time here at Okayama International Circuit. Finley Fitzsimmons.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome back. It's round 10, the Canadian Grand Prix here at League Zero, the premier Formula 3 series. As always, I'm your host, James East, bringing the action 1080p 60 frames a second. On behalf of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, looking forward to another great night as we get ready for this feature event to start the party. Let's run through the starting order. On pole is Josh Green, the number 22 machine. Jared Ziegler, the number 57, starting second. Micah Barnett starts third. Reed Gibson starting fourth. Jack Mundy starting fifth. Raymond Aguilar starting sixth. Antonio Bianchi starting seventh. Jaden Calloway starting eighth. Justin Sang starts ninth. We've got Nick Peterson. He's going to be starting 10th on the grid here today. Felipe Sarkis starting 11th. John Kasai starting 12th. Cycling it on back to Gareth McAllister, the world-famous Australian. He's starting 13th. Ryan Tebow starting 14th. Peter Rettinger starting 15th. Michael Fairchild starts 16th. Felipe Ramos starting 17th. Xavier Zanave starting 18th. Max Wobble starting 19th. Finley Fitzsimmons, a rough qualifying. He's going to be starting 20th. Addison Hoagie, a newcomer here at League Zero, will be starting 21st. And Ricardo Espino will round out the 22-car grid here today. As always, let us know where you're from, who you're cheering on. The drivers frequently watch these broadcasts back, and they definitely notice and appreciate the fans out in force cheering them on. As we're waiting for, I believe it was just Fairchild. Looks like every driver has made their way onto the grid. We get ready for the lights to come on and turn off here at the Canadian Grand Prix. And here we go to start the feature event. Start looks good. Josh Green's going to hold on to the lead, chased by Jared Ziegler. Micah Barnett in an early lunge trying to battle for second. Ziegler's going to defend the inside line against the 59 of Barnett. And it looks like a bit of a breakaway here for our top three drivers. Top four drivers. There's Reed Gibson. A little bit further back, Justin Sang leading the second half of the field. And a very, very busy pack just inside the top 20. And oh, we've got a crash report. Finley Fitzsimmons finds himself pointing the wrong direction here. What happened to Fitzsimmons? The number one machine, last year's champion. Is it a solo car incident? Oh, yes, it is. Grabs a little bit too much of the grass. And around goes Fitzsimmons. Meanwhile, Josh Green, a very healthy breakaway, 1.2 seconds up on the rest of the field. While Ziegler, Barnett, and Gibson still very close behind here, but they built up 1.3 seconds over Justin Sang. Oh, a big crash being reported as we're playing a bit of bumper cars. Wobbles, Fairchild, Rettinger tied up in that one. We saw Rettinger going off track again. Looks like Addison Hoagie had some sort of incident. Takes a tow back to pit road after crashing out, so Hoagie's going to be retiring early. And as a reminder here at League Zero, if you take a tow back to pit road, you are done out of the event. Now Reed Gibson, your current points leader, holding on to that 4th place spot, trying very, very hard to get around Ziegler's big mean green machine, that number 57 machine sitting in 3rd. Micah Barnett now in 2nd, really wants to get some momentum going to see if he can stretch out from the rest of the field. As other good racing going out on track, looking for the time splits. Gareth McAllister involved in a battle with Jaden Calloway's 37 machine. Those guys are about 7/10 up over Nick Peterson in the number 24. McAllister takes a look to the inside line, and he will make the pass for 11th. Meanwhile, Reed Gibson has just taken over the 3rd place spot from Ziegler. Ziegler had fantastic pace in qualifying, but seems to be falling back ever so slightly here. A lot of racing going on just outside the top 10. You're watching Jaden Calloway ride Tebow, Nick Peterson. A frantic battle for that very important 12th place spot. As a reminder, it's an inverted top 12 grid for the sprint race to follow this feature event. So if you can lock in a 12th place spot, that's going to put you ahead of the curve and ahead of the pack. As now it is Nick Peterson, Jaden Calloway battling for 13th. Peterson wants to try and get this spot and catch back up to Tebow. That number 27 machine now sitting 12th. Fitzsimmons very far back the leaderboard in 21st. Did just click off the fastest lap of the race, so we know he has the pace. But he is miles behind the lead pack after an early lap 1 incident. Now Addison Hoagie did return back out on track. Not sure if Hoagie realizes the no towing rule here. Oh, almost looked like bump drafting almost between Espino and Fairchild in the battle for 18th. Espino goes off track very briefly. Fairchild takes over that 18th place spot. And we check back in on Micah Barnett. He's got company by current points leader Reed Gibson. Gibson's going to take a big lunge at the inside line. Does it under a braking. Gibson taking over the 2nd place position. Go to another frantic, right as we pan there was Ricardo Espino. A big moment, that's going to allow the previous champion, Fitzsimmons, to cut through the field. Very, again, uncharacteristic the qualifying that we saw out of Fitzsimmons. Not sure if he had problems in his session or what the issue may have been. Another good battle out on track. It's Max Wobbles, Xavier Zanave battling for the 16th place spot. Zanave, the number 12, Wobbles, the 13. We got Owen joining us on the YouTube side of the broadcast, saying hello to all the fans and racers. Michael Fairchild, Addison Hoagie down pit road. So got to give Ziegler some credit here in that 57 machine. Staying right there with both Gibson and Barnett. You can see Josh Green 1.9 seconds ahead of that lead, the other 3 drivers in the top 4. As we go on board with Jared Ziegler, that 57. A very intimate view of the battle for second right ahead. That's Barnett and Gibson throwing haymakers at each other. Now these drivers about 2 seconds back from Josh Green. Green having the time of his life. He's got clean air ahead of him. Looks like he has one driver not too terribly far ahead. That's going to be Hoagie and the 96 machine. The newcomer Canadian to here at League Zero. Trying to get some laps in, see if they can collect themselves and maybe try to take some data. Always a bit of a learning curve whenever you join a new league here on iRacing, figuring out the who's who and how the racing's going to be. Speaking of racing, it looks like Felipe Ramos tracking down Jaden Calloway's 37. Ramos the 73 machine, Calloway the 37. Look at the rotors glowing off the front wheels of Ramos, the Brazilian driver, who is up 2 positions so far here tonight in this feature event. Very impressed with the battle up front. It's still Green, Barnett, Gibson, Ziegler, your top 4. Justin Sang holds on to the top 5 in the 68. Cameras focused in on Ziegler. He had tracked down Gibson there momentarily. But I think with Barnett and Gibson maybe working together, running second and third, it's going to be a tough fight for Ziegler. But has to be happy with both his performance and that 57 machine running very, very well here in Canada. Oh, we've got problems. Jaden Calloway with an off-track excursion. That's going to give 17th to Fitzsimmons. Xavier Zanave is also going to move up 1 spot into 16th. Zanave trying to catch back up to Wobbles. In a battle for 15th that has been slow to develop here. Ooh, heard somebody tag that wall. Oh, and right in front of them, that was Felipe Ramos. Falling from the 14th place spot. Luckily, Wobbles, Zanave, Fitzsimmons able to get through that one nice and clean. Looks like Jaden Calloway is going to take a tow back to pit road. Josh Green, race leader, still clean track, has not started working through lap traffic as of yet. Gareth McAllister was tracking down Tebow, must have had a bit of a bobble there as he lost almost 3 to 4 tenths to that number 27 machine. Very diverse field here tonight. We've got Americans, Italians, Englishmen, Brazilians, Canadians, and Austrians as well out on track. So really cool seeing drivers from all across the world getting together every Thursday night here at League Zero. Oh, Zanave with a hard hit. Then number 12, let's see what happened to him here. Heavy on the brakes, spins it around. Not as hard as I thought. Tips the front end there. So thankfully, Zanave able to continue. Would not be surprised to see that number 12 machine come down pit road, maybe trying to get the damages assessed. As we are back up front to Jared Ziegler, still doing what he can to catch up to Reed Gibson. Raymond Aguilar, the number 72 machine, comes down pit road for a green flag stop. He's going to fall down to 15th, maybe even a bit further. A battle for 13th shaping up between Wobbles and Fitzsimmons. Ooh, Fitzsimmons dangerously close to ripping the right side of the car off there. These Formula 3 open wheel cars not too happy whenever any sort of contact is made. Aguilar leaves his pit stall, now running 17th out on track. Fitzsimmons 2/10 off the back of Wobbles, gonna try and set something up here. Fitzsimmons hops out of the draft hard on the brakes, the inside of Wobbles. The rotor's absolutely glowing. Fitzsimmons lays the power down. Is it enough to break free? As Wobbles has a good run, pulls up side by side with last year's champion. And man, very uncharacteristic to see Fitzsimmons battling back here in 13th. Just not a start to the night that he was looking for. Side by side they go. Fitzsimmons gets hooked, and around he goes. Oh, Fitzsimmons gonna be driving with some fire in his eyes after that one, ladies and gentlemen. Those two drivers have had a bit of history. Let's get that one queued up on the Team Goon Squad instant replay. Oh, I'm not sure who this is going to be faulted for, if it's just going to be a race incident. Try and get that one queued up one more time. Full speed from our League Zero chopper. Oh, that's going to be a tough one to call, if there will be a call. Can't quite tell if Wobbles came over. It's just two drivers trying to occupy the same spot, but we had the cameras focused there. We had a feeling there was going to be some sort of incident with that one developing. But Fitzsimmons able to stay out on track here. Top three still green. Barnett, Gibson, Ziegler, and Sang rounding out the top five. Ooh, Ziegler has a great draft there in the 57. Gibson shuts the door. And Ziegler's fighting so hard for a podium spot here. I'm wondering if Ziegler maybe thinks he has the pace, if he's going to go for a bit of an undercut on pit road and just try and get some clean track. I don't think it's going to benefit him to stay out till the end of the fuel run. I think if I was in Ziegler's shoes, I would immediately... Oh, what do we have here? It is Wobbles and Fitzsimmons once together again. Looks like Wobbles out in front. Peter Redinger not sure where to go here, as there's just violence on track ahead of him. Fitzsimmons looked like he was trying to hop out of the draft. Oh, I think the officials are going to have something to say about this one. Started as a Formula 3 event, and the boxing gloves come out here in Canada. Oh no, these two are once again together, separated by about a half second. I don't know how they're still rolling at this point. And machines that bode very poorly to contact. There has certainly been their fair share. John Kasai, the number 3, the propane man himself, comes down pit road. Fitzsimmons going to try the same move on the outside line. Wobbles gets, and again, contact between the two. The elbows are out here in Canada. And what I would call the most aggressive race for 11th I've ever seen. I'm not sure if I'd want to be in Redner's shoes right now. He is squarely in the vortex of danger, the number 44 machine. You can see John Kasai right behind, coming out after his one scheduled green flag stop. Kasai with a pretty heavy undercut over the rest of the field here. Meanwhile, up front, Gibson Ziegler still separated by a half second. Josh Green putting a workout on the rest of the field. We focus in on that number 22 of the Pro Indy Lights driver. That's real life, ladies and gentlemen, not just iRacing. He's built up a 2.5 second advantage over the rest of the field. Micah Barnett still running a very strong second out on track. Barnett, after last week's race at Long Beach, moved back up to second in points. Behind Reed Gibson, Fitzsimmons still sits third in the points. Aguilar running fourth and Flo Doms running fifth. Haven't talked much about Aguilar here tonight, the number 72 machine. He's down 11 spots, currently 17th on the circuit. So Aguilar is having a rough go of it as well. A lot of normal front runners having a rough race here. So we are at the halfway mark of today's main event. The green and white flags are crossed at the start-finish line. Something has happened to Felipe Sarkis. He's no longer showing on live timing. I think Sarkis may have had a hardware issue and may have disconnected from the session here. Jack Mundy, Antonio Bianchi get ready for a battle for sixth to unfold. Mundy has a massive run, looks to the outside line of the purple number 17. Oh, Bianchi, a problem on the brakes, locks it up and gets it a little bit sideways. I think Bianchi actually just pulled off the track there into a runoff to avoid getting run over. A very peculiar spot and a very unusual way for Bianchi to have that incident. Normally so consistent. And excuse the slip, I said Aguilar, he was involved in an incident as well in the number 72. Aguilar just loops it around here. On the list, a pretty lengthy list of talented drivers having a very tough time here in Canada. Definitely been a very peculiar race here. We check in on second place, Micah Barnett, the number 59. He's in a great position for points here, as he is currently ahead of his close to the competition. Gibson came into tonight 15 points ahead of Barnett. Barnett only 3 points ahead of Fitzsimmons, so he might be able to chip away at Gibson's points lead, as well as capitalize on Fitzsimmons' very rough night. And as a reminder to the fans, last season this championship was decided, the final round separated the top two drivers by only 1 point. Bianchi, the number 17 machine, comes down pit road. Still very surprised that we haven't seen somebody such as Ziegler in the 57 with that undercut. I thought for certain he was going to look for some clean track. Looked like Fairchild may have been involved in an incident in the 88 machine. Yeah, just throws it away there. Hopefully the underbody not too dinged up from crossing the curbing. Looks like Bianchi has a race going on for 10th. Bianchi came down pit road on lap 13 for his stop. Now he makes a move to the inside line and wobbles not too far back. There's still Redinger in the 44. Looks like those two drivers get through there clean side by side. Wobbles has about a wing advantage, but Bianchi has a little bit better run. Looks like Kasai and Redinger have linked up behind. They may be able to work something against this draft here as the two drivers in front of them still side by side. Redinger and Kasai trying to close 7/10, but it looks like Kasai's going to hop out of formation. Redinger completely, he comes down pit road. I thought he completely missed the corner there. And during that, Bianchi takes over the 10th place spot, knowing that he is good to go on fuel until the end of this race. 9 laps left to go in this feature event. Fairchild involved in another incident. Having a particularly rough go here in the 88. Well, there's another battle out on track. It's the battle for 7th between Ryan Tebow, Gareth McAllister. McAllister trying to track down that number 27 machine in his Aussie back, number 25. Both drivers repping Team Goon Squad on the side of their cars. Absolutely appreciate these guys so much. Let's see, McAllister's in the draft. Will he hop out, or is he going to be content staying behind Tebow here? It looks like he's going to follow along. Josh Green, your race leader, has built up a 4.2 second advantage over the rest of the field. Green just on another level as McAllister and Tebow side by side. Tebow has the inside line. McAllister may carry a little bit more speed here. It's going to be a drag race, but it looks like Tebow has the advantage. McAllister backs out of it to follow through the corners. And Ziegler has caught back up to Gibson. Less than 2 cents off the gearbox of the number 11 machine. Ziegler with a massive run here. Takes a peek to the inside line, backs out of it. And who do we have but Micah Barnett not too far ahead. The top 4, sans Josh Green. You could throw a blanket over him here. How long will Ziegler follow for? Looks like Gibson's going to come down pit road. So Ziegler will have one position given to him here. Justin Sang also coming down pit road for a green flag stop. Your top 3 yet to come down pit road. Ryan Tebow joining drivers for his one and only box. McAllister stays out. He'll slide up into the top 5. No, I stand corrected. Gibson's going to roll back out on track. He will hold inside the top 5. Knowing that the 4 drivers in front of him still need to come down pit road. Now, Barnett, when he hasn't been involved in an incident, has been absolutely consistent so far this season. And has been running extremely well in that 59. And Micah Barnett does have the most wins so far this year. He's got 4 to his name. Fitzsimmons and Doms, 3 wins each. Gibson and Aguilar, 2 wins each. With McAllister, Green, and Wobbles all having 1 win apiece. So still very much anybody's race, anybody's championship. As there's Green down pit road, looks like Barnett's going to follow. As well as Ziegler. So we think Mundy sitting now in 4th. He's going to come down pit road. Yes, he does. Reed Gibson, who came down pit road on 16, he gets to stay out. How is this going to shape up the top 5 here? Green rolls out of his pit stall. You can see ahead as well as Barnett and Ziegler. So where is that going to put Gibson? Gibson's going to be in 4th. About 1.8 back from Ziegler. And Ziegler all over the back of Micah Barnett. He has put himself in a good position back in podium contention. Is he going to fight for 2nd? Because he does not want the pace to slow down and allow Gibson to catch back up and make it a 3-car battle for only 2 of those final podium positions. Barnett about 1.9 seconds back from green, so definitely made up a fair amount of time here after that pit cycle. Barnett trying to defend against Ziegler, who's really working that draft. Ziegler gets a little bit out of shape, but so does Barnett. It's going to be a drag race here. Ziegler the left side of your screen, Barnett the right side. They're still about 1.7 seconds ahead of Gibson. Ziegler backs out of it, not feeling like he was in a good position to try and make that pass, but that's allowing Gibson to close the gap back up. Meanwhile, Josh Green stretching his lead once more, now up to 2.6 seconds. With 5 laps left to go, still anybody's guess here. Who is going to be able to make this thing happen? Wait, what has happened? Micah Barnett has issues. Let's get that one queued back up. Barnett very hard on the brakes and just loops the back end. A very odd crash. That is allowing Ziegler up into 2nd. Reed Gibson's going to inherit 3rd. Gutting for Barnett. We always called him Mr. Consistency. But this has really shaken up the top 3. We do still have, almost looks like a 3-car, possibly a 3-car battle for 8th. Debo and Kasai separated by 8/10, but here comes McAllister, the number 25. Throwing it up the inside line of the Mr. Propane Man himself, Kasai. McAllister moves up into 9th. His team desperately needs the points here today. Xavier Zanave finds himself pointed in all sorts of the wrong position. Let's see what happened to the Flying Frenchman, the number 12, who lost the 15th place position with that incident. Too much curbing, the car gets unsettled. Instead of trying to flick a right, says, you know what, here's fine. Devo stretched that gap back to a half second up over McAllister. What a wild race through and through. I can't believe it. So many heavy hitters that we expected to be up towards the front having either a rough time in qualifying, a rough time in the race, or possibly both. And I'm sure race control is going to have their hands full after this one. Now Reed Gibson slowly gaining ground on Ziegler, who sits in second. But looks like Ziegler able to hold on to it. Meanwhile, looks like McAllister did take over that 9th place spot from Ryan Tebow. Kasai still sits behind this pair by about 1.2 seconds. As we're going to pan the camera back to Josh Green, that is what a 3-second advantage looks like for Green over Ziegler. Let's make it 3 seconds now over the 2nd place driver. So Green's got 3 seconds on Ziegler and about 4.3 over Reed Gibson, who sits in 3rd. Micah Barnett, Justin Sang still holding on the top 5. Gotta hand it to Sang here as well, that 68 machine. See if we get a camera angle pointed at him. He's been sitting in that top 5 spot pretty much the entire race here. Kind of in no man's land. Sang about 4.4 seconds back from Barnett. Almost 10 seconds ahead of Jack Mundy. And just clicking off laps and enjoying all sorts of clean air. And I've got to say, maybe not a bad spot to be in with how much action we've seen elsewhere on the track. Maybe a little bit safer spot to be in, just focusing on hitting their marks. There goes Fitzsimmons trying to make something happen here against Kasai. Looks like he'll be able to do just that, nice and easy through. And the white flag gets ready to come out for Josh Green, who's been on a dominant performance here. Addison Hoagie involved in an incident, takes another tow back to pit road. And Green just clicking off laps, making it look easy here. Looks like Green is not going to catch any more lap traffic on this run. Laura Kasai joining us from the spectator area, although briefly. And the checkered flag flies for Josh Green, picking up a big win here at Canada. Jared Ziegler is going to bring home the second, and Reed Gibson will round out the top three. We're going to try and get these drivers up here in the waiting room, but good to see so many fast guys make it through this one. And a race that was, I would say, pure carnage here. So we've got Ziegler who's made his way to the podium room. We're still waiting on Green and Gibson. Looks like we've got Green. Good to have him back. But we're on third call for Gibson. Looks like we've got Gibson here as well, so let's try and get everybody up here into the waiting room. Up first, it's going to be Reed Gibson, the number 11 machine. Reed, welcome back, and an action-packed night where we saw so many championship contenders involved in an incident. You've got to be happy to have a relatively clean race here today.
I mean, it might have been relatively clean, but I still feel a little shell-shocked. That was less than relaxing.
Yeah, I mean, there was no chance for you guys to break. I mean, the battle for second, undecided for the entire duration. I mean, anybody's guess who's going to have that one. And, I mean, I know you and Barnett are used to kind of throwing elbows at each other as friends do, but now you've got Ziegler also in the mix.
Yeah, no, he's really turned up the wick in the past couple races this season, and he is a serious threat. So definitely was just driving in my mirrors, trying to keep things safe. I think we had some good moves, and ultimately I really bungled that pit stop, and he was able to get the advantage on me.
Now, Reed, we saw a lot of, it looked like mistakes under braking here today. What's causing that, you think, over the duration of the run? Is it drivers just losing their marks, or is there something else going on?
You know, this car and drag combo is just pretty difficult. Trying to keep the car on the ragged edge, you got to carry a lot of entry speed, and there's just not a lot of grip. I guess it's a street circuit, it's a hot day, so it was tough trying to spot entries and really get the most out of the brakes. I was struggling. I only had one or two incidents, and luckily was able to get away clean and get what I needed to do done.
Well, great to have you back up here in third. Wish you the best of luck in the sprint race. And before I let you go, who do you want to give a shout out to that helped make it happen for you?
Yeah, so shout out to my teammate Justin Sang. Came in, did a really good job, ran a good race, so I'm proud of him.
Yeah, extremely consistent. I think you didn't leave the fifth place spot for the entire duration.
Mm-hmm.
Well, awesome, Reed. Best of luck, man. I hope to have you back up here after the sprint race.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir. That was Reed Gibson finishing in second, but now welcome back to Jared Ziegler, the number 57. A very strong second here today, and seemed like you developed a whole lot of pace since we've seen you racing full time.
Absolutely. I've started to adapt how I was attacking the track and how I was driving, and it seems to be working out. I had a really good run at Spa a few weeks ago and qualified P2 at Long Beach last week, P2 this week, and P2 in the feature. So we're doing something good over here at MSR.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, yeah, fourth place at Spa. Long Beach wasn't the best of showing, but it's also Long Beach, so you kind of take that one as you will. But what's been the plan? What have you guys been developing behind the scenes to put in, especially these? I mean, I don't want to say hot laps because it's apparent you have the speed for the entire run, but man, the qualifying time's way up there from what we've seen in the past.
Yeah, I've always been just terrible at qualifying. I don't know what it is, but I've been able to kind of be a lot more smooth on the throttle, on the wheel, kind of just changing how I'm running my lines, and I think I'm working a lot better with that. I've been doing a lot of rallycross stuff lately too, so that's kind of helped me with consistency wise. So for the long run pace as well, that's really helped. So I don't know, just doing a lot of different things. Smoothness of the wheel, like I said, rallycross, get consistent. Qualifying pace, I've just kind of been shocked on that. I wrecked out halfway through qualifying. Team got the backup car out, was able to go again, and I thought I had chance at pole until Josh put that final lap in like 4 seconds before the session ended. So he kind of screwed me over there. But I had some pretty fast pace, and I don't know. It's been a blast these past few weeks with it.
Well, it's good to have you back. Hope to have you up here more often. And Jared, before we let you go, get ready for the sprint race. Who do you want to give a shout to that helps make it happen with this second place finish for you?
Of course, I want to give shout out to Mustard Seed Racing, Norman King. He does a great job over there with his endurance side. Oval 2 Road as well. Jeffrey Sykes, he's been helping me a lot on the endurance side of GT cars. He's been helping me with a lot of the changing my driving style as well. Of course, Team Goon Squad for broadcasting. You guys always put on a fantastic show every week in, week out. Fanatec just giving me great equipment, reliable equipment that has not crashed on me yet. Racing for Children's, if you want to donate, they do a fantastic job over there helping out children with childhood cancer and blood disorders. And League Zero for just putting on a great show.
Awesome, Jared. Good to have you back, my friend, especially up here in the booth. And best of luck in the sprint race to follow.
Thank you, you too. Hope to talk to you soon.
Thank you, sir. That was Jared Ziegler bringing it home in second. But up next, the man, the myth, the legend, Josh Green, back in the booth for real this time. And good to have you back here, my friend.
How's it going?
Good, man.
Thanks for having me.
I know we had some technical difficulties at Long Beach, but good to have you finally back up here. I mean, a limited season due to your racing career, but seems like you have not lost the pace here.
Yeah, honestly, I really do like the street circuit, so these last few races have been a good time. But, you know, Jared kept me honest.
Yeah, I was going to say, Green, with your hiatus and the abbreviated schedule you're able to run, is it always surprising you to come back and realize, you know, instead of it's you, Aguilar, maybe one other, that now there's 4 or 5 different names up in the hat running really good paces here?
It's honestly been really awesome. You know, I've talked with some people and looked at data with some people here and there, but every single time I come back, there's 1 or 2 more people who have been in the league for as long as I've been in it that are suddenly at the front that are racing for P1. So it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it definitely leads to better racing, and it seemed like you're very fortunate avoiding some of the back and forth is a polite way to say it that we saw in the rest of the field, and looked like clean air. Was traffic pretty easy for you to navigate through here at a fairly wide circuit?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, in qualifying, like, I didn't even go out at the start. I just waited for a gap and went out in my own little window. And in the race, obviously, starting P1, like, I didn't really have to struggle. And we didn't catch the back markers because everyone was relatively close on pace.
Well, awesome. I'm sure the sprint race is going to be exciting, starting in that 12th place spot, and we know you got to go get ready for that. But before we let you go, do you want to give a shout to any fans, friends, or family cheering you on and helping you bring home that first place finish in the feature?
I'll give a shout out to everyone on my stream right now who's watching me, all 5 homies, and my parents for, you know, always supporting me in my racing career.
Awesome, Josh. Always a pleasure, man. Good to have you back up here, and best of luck in the sprint race.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. That was Josh Green bringing home the dub in the feature event. Don't go anywhere. We're going to run a brief intermission, and we will be right back for the final sprint race of the evening. Half the laps, twice the action, here at League Zero. Welcome back, race fans. It's time for the sprint race to cap things off here at the Canada Grand Prix. It's an inverted top 12. It's going to be Nick Peterson starting the number 1 spot, John Kasai starting 2nd, Finley Fitzsimmons starting 3rd, Ryan Tebow starting 4th, Gareth McAllister starts 5th, Antonio Bianchi starting 6th, Jack Mundy starting 7th, Justin Sang starts 8th, Micah Barnett starting 9th, Reed Gibson starting 10th, Jared Ziegler starting 11th, and it's going to be Josh Green starting 12th with that inverted position. Hey, we've got Mikey Games joining us over here on the YouTube side of the broadcast. Just in time for the sprint race, which is always action-packed. We get ready for the lights to come on and then drop. One driver starting from the pits. That's going to be Hoagie in the 96. Ricardo Espino is a did not start for this main event. As well as Felipe Ramos going to have to be forced not to attend. Nick Peterson holds on to it with John Kasai, his teammate, right behind. They're going to try and make those white, red, and orange cars as wide as they possibly can. As right behind, there's Fitzsimmons and Tebow side by side. Fitzsimmons trying to take over the 3rd place spot. Tebow firing back. Oh no, Josh Green involved in an incident. What happened to Green? And a caution's going to come out. The safety car will be deployed. We're focusing on Josh Green, the number 22 machine. Oh my goodness. Who was that just got sent to the Shadow Realm? I think, yes, that was Micah Barnett. Well, let's get the replay queued up here as Barnett is going to get launched to orbit. We'll keep an eye on the number 59 machine. Tries to take evasive maneuver. A little bit of netcode up and over, and catapulting goes Barnett as other drivers just completely obliterating that 59 machine as he slides on his roof here in Canada. We got Mustard Seed Racing joining us. I'm assuming that's Norman running that account, as we do have a safety car deployed here at the Canada Grand Prix. Peterson, the number 24 machine, will hold on to the race lead under caution. John Kasai, his teammate's going to be right behind. Green, who ran so well in the feature event, he is all the way back to 17th, but he is still out on track. So it's going to be interesting to see if these fast drivers can overcome this challenge. We got Mikey Games asking us, how long will the safety car be deployed for? Ideally, they're going to try and get things started back up this lap, I would presume. They might try and run an abbreviated caution. We'll know in about a half lap. The drivers, looks like it's going to be Micah Barnett, Peter Rettinger in pit road. Haven't seen anybody else come down pit road. I'm not quite sure if it's going to be an abbreviated caution or not. We're waiting to see if that safety car comes down pit road. We'll know at the end of this straight before the quick chicane. If not, they may be doing one more lap here of iPacing. An already short event, 12 laps for the sprint. Going to get whittled down even more. Good to see Mustard Seed Racing join the chat after the excellent performance of Jared Ziegler, bringing home a very solid 2nd place for his team, Mustard Seed Racing. So it looks like we're going to do another lap here under caution. Peterson seems in a bit of a hurry there. Jack Mundy's going to come down pit road. Let's see if Josh Green comes down to assess damage. Looks like Green is going to do just that. So Jack Mundy, Josh Green, the two drivers down pit road, going to get those machines checked out. So looks like Green only had about 25 seconds of required repairs. So he is going to be able to get back out on track and try and salvage this evening. The pace car will most assuredly be coming down pit road this time by. We'll get the race fired back up. Looks like we've got 18 drivers still out on track. And thank you to Mikey for the kind words. I do a little bit of trackside announcing. But with plans for some real life racing myself this year, I've been in the booth a lot less often. But now with a broken foot, broadcasting seems to be about all I'm doing. So it's going to be 18 drivers taking the green flag on this restart here in the sprint race. Drivers trying to get a little bit of heat in those tires. Not sure how as much it's going to help with that long straightaway. Pace car down pit road. And we wait for the green flag, and Nick Peterson's going to wick it up. He wants to get away from the field as quickly as possible. Green flag is out. There goes Peterson. Kasai in second, Tebow running third, Fitzsimmons fourth, McAllister fifth. And a big send from Fitzsimmons up into third. Edging out Ryan Tebow, the number 27 machine. McAllister holds on to a top 5 position. Meanwhile, we've got a battle going on between Mundy and Green back in 16th. Oh, who was that? That looked like it was McAllister. A big slide for that number 25 machine. Keep an eye out, the black and white number 25. Just loses the back end, spins around. Very thankful he didn't bounce right back out into traffic. McAllister's going to fall back to 18th now. So it's still Peterson, Kasai, 1 and 2. Fitzsimmons up into third. Ryan Tebow fourth. Reed Gibson holding on to fifth. And yes, Mikey pointed out these street circuits. We were at Long Beach last week. We're at the Canada Grand Prix here. Not a lot of space, not a lot of real estate, as we've got problems for, it looks like, Max Wobbles. And I think Jared Ziegler was involved in an incident. Look how frantic the track is here, just inside the top 10. That's Felipe Sarkis, Zanave, Green, Callaway, Fairchild. All barreling in. Not a lot of room to make anything happen. Unfortunately, Jared Ziegler, the number 57, bringing home a second in the feature, is going to have to retire in this sprint race, taking a tow back to pit road. And the timing deltas on the left side will show you just how busy things are out on track here. Reed Gibson, Raymond Aguilar have linked up in 5th and 6th. There's two drivers that know how to get some momentum going. And what a great camera angle, showing just how little room for error these drivers have. So we have whittled it down to 17 drivers out on track. Josh Green side by side with Sarkis in the number 4. Right behind them you can see Zanave, Callaway, Fairchild. They're side by side. Who's going to be the first to yield? Looks like Sarkis is going to have it into the first corner, but Green quickly makes the position. A textbook move. Meanwhile, Michael Fairchild and Justin Sang, a big hit, as well as I think that's Addison Hoagie. So 3 drivers possibly involved in one incident. We're going to focus in on Fairchild in the 88. Just tips in the back of the 37, spins it around. And the rest of the field comes barreling. Oh my goodness, barreling is the accurate word there. I think that was Hoagie. Just pile driving into Fairchild. Oh, and I think I just saw Antonio Bianchi. Parked in a very precarious position. Hops out of the racing line, waiting for the surface to clear the racing line. Gets it fired back up, and now Bianchi all the way back to 13th. And while this is happening, we're side by side for 4th. It's Reed Gibson, Ryan Tebow. Aguilar 4/10 behind, watching this battle unfold. Aguilar closing the gap quickly in the number 72. What a frantic track here today, and more issues. Zanave, Callaway, Wobbles involved in an incident. We're focusing on Zanave, the number 12 machine. Trying to make a move on the 37 of Callaway. Oh, Zanave throws it in too deep. Callaway gets collected. And I think that was Wobbles having to spin it around there. They are dropping like flies here at Canada, ladies and gentlemen. Finley Fitzsimmons back up into 2nd. But it's Josh Green, clicks off the fastest lap of the race on 131.07. Absolute madness out on track. And now we may get a battle for the lead as Fitzsimmons has caught up to the tail end of Peterson. Peterson has not had a podium finish since January 12th at Barcelona. Very consistently in the top 5, if not the top 10. Peterson's one of those drivers who's gotten so much faster over the last few seasons. But it's a big ask to defend for 5 laps against last season's championship winner, Finley Fitzsimmons, the Brit, trying to drive the wheels off that number 1 machine. You can see Kasai about 1.6 seconds back from Fitzsimmons. Peterson hoping his teammate can catch up, lend a little bit of support here. With how the tight course has been forcing these drivers to do draft passes, going to be interested to see how and where Fitzsimmons opts to make a move at. Fitzsimmons doing a little bit of diamonding there, trying to get the best run possible. As Green once again clicks off the fastest lap of the race on 130.75. Peterson's doing a great job here. I mean, on his own merit. Seems to be fending off Fitzsimmons. Jaden Callaway's down pit road, accompanying Jack Mundy, Xavier Zanave, drivers who have had a large amount of damage on those machines. Zanave took a tow. He will not be rejoining the track surface for the sprint race. Unfortunately, he is done for the evening. And let's see, Fitzsimmons Takes a peek to the inside line, trying to force Peterson into a mistake. Peterson holds the course, hits the marks like an expert, and actually gains a little bit of time there over Fitzsimmons. He's a half second ahead of that number 1 machine. But watch this draft work in action. I'm expecting Fitzsimmons to be within 2/10 heading to the chicane right before the pit road entrance. Yes, 2/10 on the money. Fitzsimmons with excellent drive. Hops out of the draft. They're side by side crossing the line. It's Fitzsimmons by a few thousandths of a second. But Fitzsimmons sets up for the chicane and takes over the race lead. This time it's Aguilar with the fastest lap of the race on 1:30.74. Aguilar about 8/10 back from Gibson. I really want to see these two get together. Two absolute titans here at League Zero. Looks like Gibson and Aguilar also catching up to Kasai. Kasai really wants that podium finish as well. If Kasai and Peterson can both bring home a podium, that would be absolutely massive for the points. Kasai's last podium was at Brands Hatch, February 2nd. But that is a lot of talent behind the number 3 machine. Aguilar takes a peek to the inside line against Gibson. A little bit of a psych out there. Gibson doesn't fall for it. Now this has slowed the pace down slightly amongst these drivers. Oh, a big lock up there from Aguilar. Hard on the brakes. And now it's going to be Kasai's turn to play defense against Reed Gibson's number 11. What does Kasai have left in the back pocket? Here comes Gibson, a big run, looks to the inside line. Makes the pass nice and clean. And now Kasai has a very quick Aguilar right behind him. Aguilar trying to get up into a spot where he can battle for Gibson for podium contention. Kasai getting some love from the fans saying do it for the Lap Zero podcast. I'm sure this one's going to be talked about in future episodes. Peterson's got company from Reed Gibson. Now if Gibson and Peterson spend too much time battling as they're almost side by side, that's going to allow both Aguilar and Kasai to close back up. Oh, very tight racing. A little bit of contact there between Peterson and Gibson. Both drivers able to get through, no fault, but look at that. It's allowed Raymond Aguilar to get back in the fray. We've got 3 drivers now battling for second. Can Kasai get back in the mix? Might not even have to. With how aggressive these drivers have been all night long, he might be in the best spot on track here to bring home a podium, as we've seen so many incidents so far. Peterson holding on to second. Aguilar and Gibson battling right behind now for third. Peterson desperately wants some clean airs. Look at that. There's John Kasai back in the mix. We're on board with Kasai, 6/10 back from Gibson and Aguilar. But Gibson and Aguilar are going to go side by side for third. While Peterson puts his head down, he just wants to get away. Contact again. Oh my goodness, Aguilar tags the wall. That's going to put Kasai back into fourth. Does Gibson have any damage? The white flag is out for Fitzsimmons. Absolutely wild race here. Fitzsimmons clicked off his fastest lap of the race last time by a 1:30.75. He's got clean air in front and behind, a 5.4 second advantage over Peterson. Fitzsimmons came into tonight third in points, had a dismal night in the feature event. So this could be his chance of reprieve here in the sprint race. He's up 2 spots from where he started. And again, we whittled it down to just 12 drivers on track, 12 drivers on the lead lap, so to speak, as well. As Fitzsimmons makes his way into the final chicane, a bit of redemption for the number 1 machine. As Fitzsimmons brings home the win here at the Canadian Grand Prix in the sprint race. Nick Peterson back on top, or at least in second, so fairly good there. His highest finish of the season. And Reed Gibson will finish third. What a fantastic race amongst these drivers. So we're going to try and get everybody up in here to victory lane. As we're waiting on Gibson, Peterson, Fitzsimmons to make their way up into the podium room. We're going to try and get these drivers up here into victory lane. We've got Peterson here. We've got Gibson. So let's get things started. Up first, we've got Reed Gibson join us once again. The number 11 machine up 7 spots, made it through the sprint race clean, and a great points night all the way around. Reed, you got to unmute your mic, my friend. There we go.
Sorry about that. Yeah, race wasn't really what I wanted it to be. Didn't have the greatest starts, but I collected myself. I drove good laps. Just really frustrated about the passing. I had way more pace and just couldn't make it stick around any of those chicanes. So still a good result, but slightly bittersweet.
Yeah, Reed, I mean, granted, I'm just a broadcaster, but from up here in the booth, it only looked like 2 or 3 real good passing opportunities, which was either drafting or on the brakes after a big draft. I mean, what makes it so tough to pass here? We even had fans come in the broadcast going, man, this track looks mighty tight compared to what we normally run.
Yeah, it's tough because coming out of any of the chicanes, if you go too wide, you can't really hang it out, and there's really no advantage to be gained afterwards. I mean, your exit out of the chicanes are going to be so slow if you go too wide. Trying to overtake Peterson, we were running him down like crazy, and I couldn't get around him quick enough. And Ray got right back in the fight, and then Ray and I were kind of duking it out. We had a pretty close call through the final chicane, so it just goes to show, like, it doesn't really matter how much pace you have. If you're within, maybe a second, it's going to be really hard to pass.
Yeah, now Reed, once you and Ray started going back and forth, did both of you guys pretty much realize, all right, this is a battle for third now, and Peterson's going to get away from us?
Yeah, I had one shot to take him down, and I took it. I tried to be aggressive early, and felt like I made some pretty good moves, and I was just kind of almost heartbroken to see that I just couldn't get by. So yeah, after that it was just damage control and trying to get Ray off my back.
Well, still, with damage control, still a good points night extending your lead, and Reed, a lot of fun watching your race as always, my friend. And for your final time tonight, who do you want to give a shout to that helps make this happen for you?
So I'll just do my classic shout out to the organizers of League Zero. Thank you guys for putting on good events. Definitely wasn't the easiest of nights, but I think people had fun. It was a fun and unique challenge, so we appreciate all the effort they put into running this series for us.
Awesome. Reed, always a pleasure, my friend, and hope to see you back up here next week.
I won't be here next week, but maybe in 2 weeks.
Dang it, Reed. All right, man. Have a good vacation, and we'll see you when you get back.
All right, have a good one.
You as well, sir. That was Reed Gibson bringing it home. And second, up next, the man I haven't had the opportunity to talk to in way too long. Welcome back, Nick Peterson, the number 24 machine. I believe, Nick, this is your third highest finish of all time. I believe you've had a spattering of seconds in many seasons past, but seems like it's been a bit of a dry spell since June 30th of last year we had you up here in the podium.
Wow, has it been really that long?
I guess for a second. January 12th this year, you had a third. But it's been too long.
Yeah, it has. It's been kind of a rough season. We got a lot of fast guys, so I just don't get the opportunities.
But Nick, with how much grief that's given back and forth between yourself and Bianchi, how good does it feel to be up here in the podium this season?
Oh, it feels so good to beat Antonio. And I'm beating him in the points right now, so...
Oh, the league's going to shut down at this point because the old rivalry and friendship you guys have had is as old as League Zero at this point. But, Nick, you've been here for a long time. You keep getting faster and faster. What's the trick with how talented the driver's pool has become? And it seems like you're still gaining pace every season.
I'll just say it's all because of Dave, my teammate. He started behind me today, and he was like super helpful in securing the second place.
And I was going to ask about that as well. You and Kasai linked up on the start, two teammates, and after a while it looked like, man, that could be really beneficial. So did that help ease the nerves knowing, that inverted top 12, you've got a little bit of support up there at the front?
Yeah, during the safety car restart, we were trying to work together too. So it was nice to know that the guy in second place isn't going to try and just dive bomb me.
Well, no doubt, Nick. It's been too long. It's fantastic having you up here. An amazing run up in second, and number 24 machine defending, and a hornet's nest behind you after that sprint start, and just a great run all the way around. And before I let you go, celebrate with Kasai. Who do you want to give a shout to that helped make tonight's second place possible for you?
Well, obviously I got to give a shout out to Dave. Great teammate, love him. And I'll give a shout out to my fiance Laura for cheering me on tonight.
Now, question, Nick, is it a team thing where you guys have to be married to a Laura?
Yeah, I think it is. It just worked out that way.
Yeah, odd coincidence. Well, Nick, it's good to have you back up here, my friend. Hopefully many more to come, and best of luck in the future races.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you, sir.
James.
Yeah, Sam. I've been called worse. Thank you, Nick. That was Nick Peterson calling me by the wrong name, but we love him anyway. And up next, the man, the myth, the legend, the man who's going to have a lot to say after tonight. Bentley Fitzsimmons, welcome back to the top spot.
Yeah, thank you, James. Not the best of weekends, but at least we rounded out on the high.
Yeah, for a night that started off dismal with a poor showing in qualifying, tagged your teammate on a lap that very likely would have given you a pole position, having to start way back in the meat grinder and just getting jostled around on track. You still got to be happy at first in the sprint race. Going to kind of even out the evening, I would think.
I wish the points would say that. Yeah, I'm gonna need a miracle to get back at this now, to be honest. But no, in qualifying as well. When I hit Gareth, or when Gareth spun in front of me, I had a chance to do another lap 2 dash. So I only had one lap to warm up the tyres as opposed to 2 or 3. And then when I came to the line, I missed the point by about half a second. Otherwise, I would have been able to get a lap time down, which was also quite good. But yeah, unfortunately, we couldn't quite make the mark. In terms of like the feature race as well, I think I probably put in one of my best drives, excluding the instance which happened. As apart from like a lap by lap basis, I think I drove quite well. So positive to take away, but yeah, points a little bit damaged.
Yeah, a little bit damage control. Gibson finished consistently up in the podium. You were third in points coming into tonight, but still able to capitalize a little bit on Barnett here. So not all is lost. And I mean, as you remember last season, it was 1 point the final round, and you're able to pull it off. So I don't think you can quite count yourself out of it yet.
No, but yeah, a miracle happened last time that brought me back into it. We're going to need another one here. The gap's, I think, probably about the same coming into the last 2 races, but yeah, VIR is going to be a bit sketchy for sure with the tight track. Going to be tight on the racing, but yeah, I think Interlagos will be a great another great race for sure.
Well, Finley, I know I'm looking forward to it as well as the fans at home. And speaking of fans, who do you want to give a shout to? Any friends, family that you want to say thanks to for helping you bring home the #1 spot in the sprint race?
Of course, my teammate Gareth. Of course, he had the incident at the chicane, but no, I was clearly an accident, and he does everything to try and help me. He's a brilliant teammate, a brilliant guy to work with. James, of course, in the booth, the Team Goon Squad. A great broadcast once again. We love watching them back, and don't miss a moment of the action. A standard really as well. All the stewards as well for making sure the racing stays somewhat clean, or at least if it's not clean, it's punished. But yeah, they run a great league, and I appreciate everything they do.
Awesome, Finley. Good to have you back up here, my friend. Best of luck in the final 2 rounds, and always good talking to you.
Thank you, James. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. That was Finley Fitzsimmons bringing it home in the top spot. He was accompanied by Nick Peterson and Reed Gibson in the final sprint race of the night. Don't forget, the next 2 weeks, we're going to wrap up this season, crown another champion, and it's always action-packed each and every Thursday night here at League Zero Formula 3 Series. My name's been James East with Team Goon Squad Broadcasting. Thank you all so much for spending your Thursday night with us, and I'll see you at the next one. Have a great night, everybody.